So the role of the Green Investment Bank is to catalyse private sector investment. We're here to stimulate a big challenge that we have in moving the UK to a more sustainable economy. We estimate about 200 billion is needed to move the UK to hit its goals in 2020, and we're investing today at less than half of that level. So our role is to catalyse private sector investment, to crowd that money in by investing alongside it. So where we want to invest is in projects which are both green and profitable. We're looking for projects where some of the capital is invested already, some of the people who need to provide that capital have lined up with the project, but there's a financing gap. And what we want to do is close that gap and crowd in that capital. We can provide debt if it's needed, we can provide equity, we can provide mezzanine or really any other type of financing as long as there's an adequate return on that capital and the project's green. We are looking for projects which are both green and profitable. On the green side, we look at what the government sets as green support mechanisms, and that's where we invest. We're looking at projects that will reduce carbon emissions, we're looking at projects that produce green power, or we're looking for projects that allow us to avoid waste going to landfill. In terms of profitable projects, the profitability depends on the risk that we're taking. So if we're providing debt, that may look less risky and we need a lower return than if we're providing equity for a project. But projects have to be green and profitable to meet our investment hurdles. We worked on a waste wood to energy project where we saw a project that had been in development for a number of years, 3 or 4 years. It had a lot of the debt that it needed because it had export credit backing, but it lacked the equity. The developers had some of the money they needed, but not all of it. The project was very green because it took waste wood that otherwise would have been going to landfill and brought it as a fuel. And we provided the rest of the equity that was needed to match the debt that was already there, and the project got to completion. We finalised that project 3 months ago, and it's now in the construction phase.